No one will do carnivore in 2030, and here's why. Either you will be dead because you get a heart attack, or you will realize that it's not helping you because you have vitamin C deficiency, you have glucose deficiency.
Here we go then. Somebody else trying to debunk the way of eating meat, which has become the carnivore nutrition on the interwebs. Firstly, he says that we will be deficient in glucose. Deficient in glucose. Now, how does that actually work? Considering that your body produces the amount of glucose that it needs at any particular time. A simple process called gluconeogenesis. So you might want to go and look up what gluconeogenesis actually is, how it works, and why it is potentially the body's preferred source of getting glucose. So then he mentions vitamin C, and this is a very big misconception about the carnivore diet. If you are only eating red meat, then there's plenty of vitamin C in red meat for what humans require. Vitamin C has been way overblown in the past because most people, most nutritions include plenty of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates impede the absorption rate of the ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. Vitamin C, or ascorbic acid, is the very similar molecule, chemically wise, to carbohydrates, glucose. So they compete for the same pathways, the same bioavailable pathways in the human metabolism. So if you're having a lot of carbohydrates, then yes, potentially it is wise to have quite a bit of vitamin C along with that. But if you are on a strict carnivore diet, or you predominantly eat mostly red meat and mostly meat and eggs, then you don't have to worry about vitamin C. If you include organ meats as well, they also have more vitamin C per kilogram in organ meats than they do in muscle meat, but you do still get plenty of vitamin C from ruminant muscle meat. So there you go.
If you don't eat any fruits and vegetables, you get the biggest deficiencies ever.
Yep, so he still thinks that you can get all your nutritional values and all your nutrients that you need from fruit and veg. Well, I'm sorry to put out that bonfire, but yes, whilst under a microscope, fruits, vegetables do have vitamins and minerals within them, they are encased in a food matrix, which is very hard for our human biology to break down, because that food matrix consists of oxalates, lectins, and all kinds of different defense chemicals that the plants don't actually want you to be able to break down to eat them. That is their defense. They are full of chemicals, so they are not willing to release their nutrition to you. Whereas animals, once you've caught them, chased them down, they have no chemicals. All of the nutrition within a particular animal or any animal meat is there bioavailable, ready to straight away go into your metabolism, and you can absorb 100% of it by eating a particular fruit, vegetable. I don't know, let's take a carrot, for example. Yes, a carrot has some vitamin A in there in the form of beta-carotene, but that beta-carotene cannot be used by the body because firstly it has to be converted to a different vitamin A called retinol, which we can actually utilize. So in the process of that, we've already lost some of its value.
How far have we come that people only eat meat and only eat eggs and dairy, or just only meat? People died on ships because they got scurvy, they got vitamin C deficiencies. There wasn't one orange on board anymore.
Oh yeah, so you've heard the stories of the pirates and the British Army getting scurvy whilst at sea. Well, if you actually went and looked into this, you'll see the reason the British Army especially got scurvy was because they were eating other things like biscuits, cakes, alongside their meat rations as well. So their meat was rationed for one, so they wasn't getting much of it, and also biscuits, cakes, carbohydrates, and pretty much glucose, what I just referred to earlier, glucose impeding the vitamin C absorption from the meat they was having. So yes, they was getting no vitamin C, therefore that led to scurvy.
Just waiting for the carnivore people to hit the wall, because each and every one of them, there's no one that's gonna be left in 5 years that will still do carnivore.
Well, for one, I hope I'm still here in 5 years, and hopefully I can come back and talk to you again in 5 years' time, and we'll see who's better off, me or you, in 5 years. 2030 is not that far away, So I'll see you there.
Because all of them will get a heart attack. I hope they will stop soon enough that their body can finally get some vitamin C into their system.
Nice also to see that you touched on the carnivores are going to get heart attacks there as well. So you're probably referring to the fact of meat still causes high levels of cholesterol in your body, and cholesterol is the bad guy. Well, so many times now we've touched on cholesterol. Cholesterol is not the bad guy. Again, like glucose, our body actually produces cholesterol to protect from inflammation. If you are inflaming your body in all different kinds of ways, by giving it the wrong foods to eat, or by putting plenty of too much undue stress on your body, then there will be high levels of cholesterol floating around, trying to reduce the inflammation in your arteries and muscles. Cholesterol is there to protect, not to harm.
And that they also don't die of glucose deficiency. Glucose is the only way to get a nutrient into a cell.
Don't die of glucose deficiency. Oh, that's a new one. It's got to be the craziest one I've heard, actually. If anybody out there has ever died of glucose deficiency, please let me know. You cannot die of a glucose deficiency because simply your body cannot be deficient in glucose. Like I said before, gluconeogenesis. It's your body's way of getting glucose from predominantly fats, also proteins. Most people carry around ample fat on their body that they can convert at any time for any amount of glucose they need. So you simply cannot die of a glucose deficiency. You're far more likely to die of too much glucose in your system. Your blood can only ever at any one time house 4 grams of sugar in there. That's all it requires at any one point. Therefore, you eat more than 4 grams of carbohydrates, converts to glucose, causes your blood a problem, causes your whole biology a problem. Too much glucose is very, very bad for every single cell in the human body. It does its very best to try and get rid of an excess of glucose by putting it into glycogen stores, or once those glycogen stores are full, converts it into fat. And then too much fat puts too much stress on the body, and that are the things that lead to chronic illness, disease, and, as you mentioned earlier, heart attacks. So I think we'll leave that there, but well done for trying to educate some people on what you think. I try and look at the science instead and really look into human biology and really see what actually happens at a biological level. So there we go. See you next time.